welcome to Lauren Reed Color. Thanks for joining me for this week's episode of Saturday Snippets. I had a little bit more time to work on my coloring this week for reasons that I will get into during the chatty portion of this video. And so I have quite a few whips to show you. But before then, I just want to show you what we're going to be doing after that. And that is continuing our Sea Life page in Daydreams by Hannah Carlson. These are our color palettes from Sarah Renee Clark's Color Cubes. And today we are going to be, one second, let me find our page. It's this page. We're going to be working on coloring these seaweeds. I'm not sure we're going to get all of them done today, but we're going to put a dent in them. And for that, we're going to be using different colors of yellows and pinks so that we get these shades from the color palette. Right, so but without further ado, I'm going to show you the whips that I worked on this week. First up is the page that I completed in my do-it-yourself coloring planner for March, and it is this one. So yeah, if you've been watching the channel, you know that for my coloring planner, I purchased some PDFs from Agota Pop Illustrations on Etsy. I downloaded them, I put them onto sticker paper with the month of the year, and I am coloring one per month. So these tiny pots on the shelf are the page that I decided to do for March. And I wanted to go with a green theme because yes, March, St. Patrick's Day, clovers and whatnot. And I thought that it was a good choice. Also, some bright pinks and purples and blues because spring is rapidly approaching, even though from the weather outside, you wouldn't be able to tell. So I colored this using Castle Arts pencils, and I enjoyed the process really much. These are a good palette cleanser for the beginning of every month before I get into the more serious coloring of March. Right, so that is the page in my coloring planner. I also have a page in A Million Baby Animals by Lulu Mayo that I'm working on. In fact, it's actually almost done, and it is the last page in the book. So yeah, this is the page that I have put a significant dent in, and I'm hoping to finish this weekend. It is colored for Joe at Geordie Colors Color the Fairy Tales hashtag. The fairy tale for March is The Enormous Turnip, and the prompt that I'm coloring this for is the family prompt. Joe gives 4 prompts that you can choose from, and I went with family, and in fact she actually recommended this book for that prompt, so I am following her advice. So I went with this page, and to my mind they are supposed to be snow leopards because we have the mountains and we have these large spots on them, but the shape of this cat's, I think it's a cat, this cat's head makes it look more like an otter. But then later, not later, but earlier on in the book, you actually have a page with otters and they don't look alike. So this is the otters page. And so I am going with the fact that they are snow leopards, which also fits my color cats challenge that I have given to myself to color one page with cats every month. So this also meets my own personal cats challenge. So this is based with Derwent Graphitant pencils because I find this paper very, very smooth. And in order to get a little bit more tooth, you have to put a water medium of some kind down. So I chose Derwent Graphitant, and then it is Castle Arts Harmonious pencils for shading. I still have to do these 2 little kitties over here, and I also want to put some white acrylic marker for fluffy fur because snow leopards are really, really fluffy. So that is the page that I'm almost done with in A Million Baby Animals by Lulu Mayo. Another page that I have put a significant dent in is my page in Lunar by Lydia Fenwick. This is a buddy color with the fantastic Holly, who has already finished her page. I hadn't seen her page before I started, but I find it really interesting that we have used similar colors on our pages, but we have done something completely different with these colors. So in my completed pages video at the end of March, you will see Holly's page together with mine and see what I mean. But in the meantime, this is how far I've gotten on my page. First up, there is a tutorial on the channel for how I colored her skin, and I am currently in the process of editing the tutorial for how I colored her hair. So that will be up at the beginning of next week, and you can see how I color hair, my process, my thoughts on which pencils to use, and so on. Otherwise, I have done the background. I put down a base of Neocolor 2 in like a soft olivey color, and then I shaded on top of that with Derwent Inktense in 2 different shades, Ionian Green and Iron Green, and I'm debating whether or not to even put pencils on it, because I like the sort of watercolory background effect that I've got going here. Then I started to color her jacket. I think it's supposed to be a jacket. And I put down a base layer of watercolor pencil. And then I was looking at my inspiration image, which I will show you in a second. And I decided that I wanted to put in these flowers. So let me just show you the inspiration image so that you can see what got me going with this idea. So this is the inspiration image that I'm using, and I wanted to get the effect of the flowers and leaves that are on her arm here. I used a completely different inspiration image for the face and the hair, but now that I look at it, I see there are some similarities with this page as well. Perhaps I had it in my head while I was coloring those too. Anyway, so what I did was I drew in the leaves and the flowers, following some of the guidelines that are on this inspiration image, but I see that mine came out more like tulips, whereas the inspiration image is more like roses. But I'm still really pleased with the result, and I think it works really nicely with the background and also with the carrot leaves. Yes, once I put them in, I think it will be a cohesive look. So I'm making good progress with this page, and I have shared my progress with Holly, and she has been so patient with me. Thank you so much, Holly. You're the best. Okay, my last whip of the week is an Enchanted Forest by Johanna Basford, and the page that I'm doing is this one. So this is also a buddy color. It is with Christine from Sync Colors. Christine and I have colored several pages in this book together. We are having such a good time. Anyway, so I have decided that I want it to be a nighttime scene, but not really a dark blue nighttime, but more of a dusk purplish nighttime scene. So I so far have put down a base layer of Neocolor 2s. On this page, I am definitely going to be going over the Neocolor 2s with pencils because I want it to be darker than this. But I still want to keep these highlights, and I'm going to get these like glowing torches that will glow across the sky, and then you've got these lanterns, so these leaves are going to be glowing as well. So let's see if I can get that effect. Sometimes my glows work and sometimes they don't, so I'm always surprised by the result. Okay, so that is my whip in Enchanted Forest by Johanna Basford, and now we are going to move on to our reason for being here, and that is the Sea Life page in Daydreams. Here's our page, and we're going to be working on these seagrass elements, and because they are a little bit closer to the light source, I'm going to make them lighter at the top and darker on the bottom. And the colors we're going to be using for this are cream, okay, sand, goldenrod. I'm not sure I'm going to use this one, we'll see. Pink. Okay, mahogany red, and black cherry. So I'm hoping that the cream and the pink together will get us this peachy color, but also have a bright highlight. We'll see. Another thing that I just want to say before we get going is that these are chatty videos, so if you are not interested in my ramblings, please feel free to mute me. Also, this week I'm going to be talking about a topic that some people might find disturbing or problematic, and if it is not your jam, again, feel free to mute me and just color along, but I felt it was important that I tell you in advance what I'm going to be talking about, and yeah, so it's your decision whether or not to stay with my ramblings. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in and then we're going to get started. Right, so to begin with, I'm just going to put this cream color down on the top so that I keep my highlight. Okay, like this. Right, so as I was saying, yes, this might be a difficult topic. So again, do not hesitate to mute me at any time. So I'm not sure if you know or not, but I live in Israel. And right now we are going through a difficult time. As you may know, there's a war. And so we're not new to wars. We have experience with them. But it's always a challenge each time it happens. Anyway, so first I'll start off by telling you where I live exactly so that you can get an idea in your head. So I live in the north of Israel, about 20 minutes south of the Lebanese border. So over my years here, we've had several different wars. First we had the Gulf War, then we had the second Lebanese war. No, first we had the Gulf War, then the second Gulf War, then the second Lebanese war. As you can tell, lots of different wars. And I'm going in with sand, okay? And we're just going to put this right down to the bottom. So no stranger, as I said. And also, of course, in June, we also had rockets fired at us from Iran. And so we're not no strangers to it. Everybody knows what to do in the event of a siren. We have sirens. And in our previous wars, we weren't as organized. Now there's an app to tell us how long we have to get into the shelter. And when the rockets are being fired from Lebanon, we have 30 seconds, not three, we have 30 seconds. And if they're coming from Iran, we have between 7 to 10 minutes, depending. So we're given like a warning siren first, and then a main siren if the rockets are coming our way. So in my building, we have a communal bomb shelter. So everybody in the building comes down, all the kids, all the parents, all the grandparents, they come down. And it's kind of like, as I said, we're used to it. So there's kind of a communal atmosphere. I'm now mahogany red. I'm putting this in the shadow areas. So there is, a sense of community, and everybody, tries to make light of the situation and keep everybody's spirits up. Other people have safe rooms in their houses, but my building is quite old. It was built in 1978, so the newer buildings have safe rooms that are reinforced rooms. So the family is by themselves, and we had the electrician in, and he was telling me he has one of those. And then there was a siren, so we ended up going to the shelter with him, and he was quite impressed with our friendly our friendly neighborhood. Well, in this case, it's the friendly building bomb shelter, and how we all root for each other and take care of each other. So it's important. I do want to add that I'm not going to be discussing any of the politics of this. This is a coloring channel. It is meant for rest and relaxation. But, every week I talk about my week, and I can't ignore what's happening. And so I felt that it would be a good idea to share with you, what we do during the week when this happens. And I was actually watching Sky News, and they were interviewing a lady from Iran, and she was going through her day and what she goes through. And it's exactly the same as what we go through. I just wish we could all just get along. Yeah, anyway, there shouldn't be any room for hatred in the world. We've got enough problems with the climate. We shouldn't be going for each other as well. Anyway, I digress. So what's my day like? yeah, so basically, I get up in the morning, and then I have to consider if there's an opportunity to take a shower. So I was also watching BBC. Hold on, we're gonna go in with the black cherry, but first I have to sharpen it. 1 second. Yeah, okay. So black cherry, sharp, only in the deepest shadow areas. Yeah. So where was I? I have to decide whether or not I can take a shower. My greatest fear, ironically, is being caught in the shower when a siren goes off, because I would have to get out, put on clothes as quickly as possible, and get down to the bomb shelter. And so it's kind of nerve-wracking, that. So I usually, take a quick shower, and then we have breakfast. And, if there's we try to, keep to a routine, because, you never know when the siren's going to go off, but we have things to do. You have to go out, you have to get food. We did stock up on food and essentials. That first day, there were a lot of sirens that first day. Oh, my neighbor's baby is crying. Hold on. Yeah, so we stocked up on essentials, as I was saying. That first day, we went out quickly and got what we needed. Also, the electrician needed to come back, as I said, so he came. Everything is closed. Like, the only things that are open are essential workplaces, like the supermarket is open, the clinics are open, but everything else is closed. The banks, the schools, businesses, factories, unless it's a factory that provides essential services. Everything else is closed. I'm trying to think. Let's put this here as well, and here and there, because these are deep shadow areas. Yeah, so basically we just, stay at home and keep ourselves occupied. And that is why I had more time to color. You also want to keep your mind off it. You don't want to dwell on what could happen. And we basically just try our best to keep going. Okay, now we're going to go with the rose. And I also want to thank everybody who has sent me kind messages. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. We're staying as safe as we can be. As I said, this is not new to us. We've gone through quite a few wars over the years, and so we just make the best of a bad situation. And as I said, I was watching that nice lady from Iran talking on Sky News, and I must say she was very calm. I don't know if I'd be as calm as she is, because they definitely have it worse off than we do. But yeah, so she was describing her day as well, about also going and stocking up. But they've been stocking up even earlier than us, because there's been the build-up of military presence for a couple of months already. So, and she was saying that she doesn't go out. But if she does go out, there's also, in addition to, the rockets and all that, there's also the Iranian police are out on the streets, and she doesn't like that. So, yeah. Okay, actually, no, I think we're going to blend with the cream. We're going to blend with the cream because we want that yellow glow. Okay, we might go in again with deeper shades. Oh, I like this. This is coming out nice. Yeah. So, as I was saying, I think I can't remember if I mentioned it, we have to, decide whether or not to shower. And I saw on the BBC that an Israeli, has invented an app. Israelis love their apps. That calculates the probability of there being a siren and whether or not you have time to go and have a shower. Yeah, we're just a little bit crazy. So I thought that was, you have to find the humor in the situation. I know it's really dark, but we have to. If we don't, then it's only going to make the situation even more difficult for us. So we have to find the humor, dark humor, yeah, like on TV shows that focus on, murder and mayhem and all that. You have to have some humor. It's a human coping mechanism, I think. So we try to find the humor in the situation if we can. We did the same during COVID. There were a lot of Israeli comedians describing, situations during COVID and getting us to laugh, because it was a difficult time then and it's a difficult time now. Yeah, so what do I do in the bomb shelter? Okay, so in the beginning, we didn't have internet in the bomb shelter, and because the walls are reinforced and all that, there isn't a lot of connectivity. So interestingly enough, the app that tells us when to go in and when to go out and all that works regardless of connectivity. I don't know the science behind it, but for some reason it doesn't need that much connectivity. So those messages will work regardless of whether or not there's internet, Wi-Fi, 5G, whatever, it works. So in the very beginning, we didn't have any Wi-Fi. The municipality, after the war in June, came round and took the routers back. They're provided by the municipality, the routers. So they came and they took them back. So we didn't have, in the first couple of days, we didn't have internet. But then they came, the municipality, and they put them back. So now we have the internet, so we can, see what's going on. I do want to put some of this goldenrod. I want there to be a bit of a shine. Yes, we have the internet, but I also, I take my book. And people talk, and the kids play video games, and we read. Karen, my assistant, and I, we read. And because of that, I've actually made lots of progress on my reading and my books. So I finished reading the book that I had started last week, which was Only a Promise by Mary Ballag. And I liked it. It was good. I enjoyed it quite a lot. Her books are hit and miss for me. But this, ironically, this book is about all of the main characters are soldiers who fought in the Napoleonic Wars. I'm thinking, do I want to put any darker? I'm thinking of putting some black. I think I'm going to get a black. Hold on one second. I'm using the Polychromos black simply because it gets to a sharp point and it can get into the tiny areas. So I'm putting it on top of the black cherry just to deepen up these shadows. And that's the only place I'm putting it, because black has a tendency to take over a page if you use too much of it. So I don't really want to use too much. So that's the book I was reading. As I said, the characters are all suffering. It's called The Survivors Club, the series, and they're all suffering from some sort of injury or PTSD following the Napoleonic Wars. It's interesting. One of the reasons I like historical romances is because I also learn a lot about history. So Mary Ballag's historical research is really good. I read a different book in a different series, which focused on the Battle of Waterloo, which was really interesting. Anyway, I digress. Okay, now for these bits at the top, we're going to put, we want our highlight to hit this side. So I'm just going to put the goldenrod on the edge there. And now I've started a new book, and I needed something a bit lighter. So I'm reading a contemporary romance. It's called Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade. She's a new to me author. I've never read any of her books. But I wanted something a little bit more lighthearted. So I've started it, and it's kind of cute right now. Okay, now we're going in with the mahogany red. We're just putting this on this side and in this little middle bit. So the basic premise of this book is that the hero is an actor on a hit TV show, but he's not happy with the way the production is run, and he also, so he writes fan fiction for the show in which he gets to, sort of criticize it. Anyway, and he keeps this a secret. And the heroine is a geologist, and she also writes fan fiction for this show. All right, we're just going to put a little bit more of this here to get a bit more of a pinky look. So, and they know each other online, but only their screen names. And I can already tell they're going to meet and fall in love and all of that. I hope there's not too many secret keeping. I don't like the secret keeping trope. So I hope there's not too much of that. We'll see. But one thing I find so interesting is from this book is that it's kind of meta in a way. It's also a critique of shows that we watch. So for example, I think it's really a critique of the way Game of Thrones ended. It's clear to me that Olivia Day didn't like the ending of Game of Thrones. I'm not sure anyone liked the ending of Game of Thrones. Yeah, one of the biggest critiques of the show in this book is that they've undone 7 seasons of characterization, which is exactly what they did in Game of Thrones. Yeah, wasn't happy with that. So this is now what I'm reading. Yeah, and so we just keep ourselves busy. I must say it has quieted down in the last few days. We aren't having as many sirens. I think it's because most of the rockets and whatnot have been destroyed, and I just hope this ends really soon. And my greatest wish is that we can have peace with Iran, and just live in peace with each other and respect each other. I really hope, for everyone's sake, that that's what eventually happens. Anyway, yeah, so what else did I do this week? I finished I binge watched The Bridgertons. Okay, I think, let's move on to this one. Now, for this one, I'm not sure I want to do it exactly the same. I think I want it to be more pink. Let's make this one more pink. So we're going to do a base layer of pink instead of a base layer of cream. So let's put this over everything. So I binge watched The Bridgertons last weekend. And I really, really enjoyed it. I loved the characters. I loved the costumes, the music, the acting. I love that show. So overall, I think that this season, Sophie and Benedict, is my second favorite series overall. So I think perhaps I enjoyed it so much because I didn't have such high expectations like I did for season 3. Penn and Colin's book was one of my favorites, and I had really high hopes for their season, and I was kind of disappointed. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. My issue was the changes that they made to the characters and the plots, and I was kind of disappointed in it. But Benedict and Sophie's book is not one of my favorites. In fact, it's one of my least favorites. My least favorite is Francesca's book. I think I might have mentioned this last time, that I don't like Francesca's character. I think she's selfish. At least in the books. She's not as bad in the show. She's actually better in the show. She's more likable in the show. But in the books, I find her to be very selfish and self-centered. Anyway, so my expectations for Sophie and Benedict were apparently not that high, and so I enjoyed their series immensely. I loved their relationship. They had such great chemistry, and the actress who plays Sophie is just adorable. Just, wanted to hug her all the time. She was just so sweet, so lovely. And I really enjoyed, I hope I don't mispronounce her name, Katie Luang. She was Cho in the Harry Potter movies. She was amazing. She just, her acting was incredible. I loved her. I truly believed she was so really nasty. She was fabulous. Loved her. Stole the show. Yeah, really loved her, and I loved Posey's character as well. She was also really great. Yeah, so I enjoyed that immensely, and now we have to wait for the next season, which will either be Eloise's story or Francesca, because this season built up both of their characters a little bit more. I must say there was a lot more character development for Francesca than for Eloise, and so I'm not really sure whose season will be next. Based on the books, it should be Eloise, because Eloise's book is book 5. And to a certain extent, they were definitely indicating, there were hints in the show that Eloise is a little bit more open to, love and romance. Okay, now I'm just looking here. So we have, I'm sure that this bit in between these seaweeds should be like a continuation of these sea grasses. The other option is just to make them dark blue as part of the background when we get to the background. I'm thinking I will make... This is a dilemma. I think I'm going to make them part of the background. Okay. Right, so now we're going to go in with the black cherry. Do I want black cherry? Yes, I want that to be a cohesive look. So black cherry for our shadow color. Yeah, so... Oh, that's nice. I like that. Here too. Where was I? Oh yes, Eloise. So Eloise's book is book 5. And so theoretically it should be her season next, but the show has mixed up some of the books. So for example, Benedict and Sophie are book 3, but they're season 4. And Penn and Colin are book 4, but they're season 3. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. If they go for Francesca and Michaela's book or season, or if they go with Eloise. I'm not giving any spoilers, but if you've read the book, then you know who Eloise's future husband is. It's one of my favorite books. I loved that book. I really loved the fact that Eloise was older, and they're more mature to a certain extent. So I really liked the epistolary tone to the book. So I just realized that I gave a spoiler. So when I do the editing, I will cut out the spoiler. Anyway, so Eloise and her future husband actually meet because they write letters to each other. So And then, well, I don't want to give it too much away, but suffice it to say that they actually get together in person as well. And I really liked that aspect of the books. It had a very a very Jane Austen tone to it, more than the other books, which I enjoyed. So it'll be interesting to see which character gets the next book. Which character gets the next season? Not the next book. I don't know. I've got books and seasons mixed up in my head. The kids have gone outside to play. They're taking advantage of some sunshine. So what else did I watch? Right, so as I said, I binge watched that. And, and there's also, no, I'm not going to talk about it. It's a spoiler. So I finished the season of Chelsea Detective that I was watching. I really enjoy that show. The last time I talked about it, I said it reminded me a bit of Midsummer Murders, but in a big city rather than small towns and villages. But now that I've watched more, all I can say is the death toll is not nearly as high as in Midsummer Murders. So that was... So I finished that season, and then I've decided I needed a break from it. I need to watch something else. So I'm going back to watching some true crime. I have a subscription to HBO Max, and they have a lot of true crime documentaries. So I am going to watch some of those. I already started watching. It's called People Magazine Investigates. And the first episode was about the discovery of a serial killer. It was really interesting. So basically, a woman went missing. Her family reported her missing. And while they were looking for her, they discovered other bodies and realized they had a serial killer. So that was really interesting. And I will continue to watch that because I like true crime. I like watching adaptations of true crime as well. So it turns out that this case in this episode of People Magazine Investigates, there's a movie based on this case. So I'm going to go and see if I can find that movie. See if it's streaming on any of the... I think it might be on Netflix. I will go and see. Because it's a fairly recent production. So I'll go and see. Yeah, so I like reading true crime books, and I like watching adaptations of true crime. So for example, I enjoy reading Anne Rule's books. She wrote a book about Ted Bundy. It was called The Stranger Beside Me. And she also wrote a book about Anne-Marie Leahy and Thomas, I think his name was Thomas Capuano. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. That was the first book of hers that I read. I loved it. It was excellent. She was a fabulous writer. She passed away, but she was a fabulous writer. Okay. Now we want to get a little bit of that peachiness in. So we're going to take the cream and we're going to put this at the top. But I definitely want the bottom to be more pinky, purpley. So we're just going to put this as our highlight color and blend some of that pink out. Oh, yes, they're coming out different colors. I'm pleased. Got to have some variety, but by using the same colors, you're also getting a cohesiveness to the page. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I've been watching. Yeah, so I've also been trying to, stay off social media during this time. Oh, I just realized I haven't done these round things at the top. So, yeah, let me just finish blending out with the cream. I mustn't get distracted. I get distracted. And then I forget to do things. So let's just finish blending out. Anyway, so I've been staying off social media because it's just horrendous what people say. They feel comfortable saying terrible things. So I just stay away from those kinds of things. And I see nasty things from both sides of the aisle, yes, and I just block them. So my threads is basically animals, which I'm more than happy with. And if you've been watching the channel and these Saturday Snippets, you know that I follow Camp Carter, the lady with all the puppies. And last week she named the new puppies that she has. Okay, Black Cherry. I'm just deepening up shadows. I said I was going to do the tops. So, no, pink. So just do that at the tops of these. And so she named her puppies the podium pups. And they're being bottle fed, but she's going to start weaning them soon. Oh, they're so cute. And I saw that Punch, the little Japanese macaque, is making friends. And he doesn't need his plushie as much because now he's got friends. The zoo explained, I think it was the zoo explained, that the leader of the monkey troop has not yet accepted Punch. So, but he still has his friends. Right, so I'm just going to go in now with cream and blend out the tops of these. And then I'll go back in with the Black Cherry and deepen up the shadows. Yeah, so as I was saying before, everything's closed, which means that the academic year is not going to start on time. And then I think when it does start up, it's going to be on Zoom. So I don't really like teaching on Zoom. We taught on Zoom during the pandemic, and it was really difficult. As I said, Black Cherry, I feel that the students don't really absorb as much material when they're on Zoom. So for example, there are the strong students who will learn no matter what. And they participate. I'm putting this in the center part as well. They participate and they're engaged, but the weaker ones who benefit from learning in person a lot because they're in class and they get to participate because I encourage them, they tend to, fade into the background on Zoom. Or they do other things. They're on their phones. I don't think that Zoom is conducive to learning. And I saw, during the pandemic when we were on Zoom, that the grades were not as high as when we do in-person learning as well. The grade average drops a bit. Yeah, so students struggle on Zoom. And the kids have not gone back to school yet either, even on Zoom. So they said that they would try and do Zoom for the little kids, but it hasn't worked out. And the parents, so they've said that they're trying to get get a sense of normality back. So they've said that if people want to go back to work, they can. It's their choice. Like businesses can open if they want to, but if they don't feel like they want to, they can stay at home. And no one can be penalized. Like a business cannot fire someone if the person decides to stay at home. It's illegal to do that. And a lot of the parents are saying, even if they work from home, it's a struggle because their kids are home, and there's not enough. There might only be one computer in the family, and even if the kids go back to school, families that have more than one child, they can't do Zoom at the same time. Nobody thinks of the logistics of these things. It was the same during the pandemic. So, okay, and then I want to put in some more pink as well. Yeah, so for now, semester is not opening. So we will just see. But I had finished preparing all of my material for the new semester. Life goes on. The day-to-day realities. Okay. And now some more pink into the highlights. Just a little bit. And then I think I'm also going to put some more mahogany red over that black cherry, because it's coming out a bit more purple, and I wanted it to be a bit more pink. So just putting in some more pink. So and now a little bit more mahogany red over this black cherry. Oh yes, that's better. I like these. Now I have to decide what colors I want to do the other two. Do I stay with the pinky colors, or do I use a different? We'll look at the we will look at the reference picture and the palette, and then we will decide what we're going to do on that side. Oh, I like these. I think they've come out nice. Okay. Right. Let's think what we want to do with the ones on this side. So let me zoom out, and then let's consider. This is what it's looking like right now, and I have looked at my palettes, and I'm thinking that we're going to go with these darker blue colors. Yes, here we've got purple, here we've got pink, here we've got teal, and so we need a color that is going to work well with all of this. And so I think blue is the best choice. It will work with the teal, with the orangey color, peachy color that we've got there, and with the purples that we have here. So yes, we're going to go with blue. And then if I look at my swatches, we have these colors, cloud blue, cerulean blue, and indigo. So here we go. Those are the colors that I'm going to be using, as well as a polychromos dark indigo for the deepest shadows. So let's zoom in, and we're going to do this one. I'm going to start with cloud blue, and I'm going to put a layer of this over everything. Now, as you can see, there are these lines crossing the seagrass, but I'm going to ignore those, okay? I might put them in at the very end with an acrylic marker, but for now, I'm just ignoring them. Okay, So just over everything with this cloud blue. This is also one of them. Yeah, so yeah, choosing colors is one of the hardest things about coloring. But I find that if you find a palette and you create a what am I saying? If you find a palette and then you create from that palette that you found an even larger palette, then it really helps in narrowing down your choices, which helps choose colors, and it helps also create a cohesive look to the page. So I find that the best way to go about doing this. Okay, now we're going to use the light cerulean blue, and we're just going to put this on the edges. Yeah, our light source is coming from the right, so everything that is on the left is darker. Yeah, so I think this is going to work out good. Anyway, so that was my week. I also did some filming. I filmed the tutorial for the hair. I'm glad I did that, and it will be on the channel as soon as I'm finished editing. And I'm also going to film a tips and tricks video about using ink tints. So that's in the works. I just have to actually, sit down and do it. I think ink tints are a fantastic tool, and and very versatile. There's so many different things that you can do with them in coloring books. So I will be filming that and sharing it with you very, very soon. I also want to do a video showing how to color fabric. So in that video where I did the skin and the hair in Lunar, the clothes that she's wearing are not, I didn't film, how to color those clothes because it's just, there's not much there. It's just a flat piece of clothing that doesn't have any texture or pleats or folds or anything in it. So I didn't feel that it was a good page to go over how to color fabric. So I'm going to have to find a different page to do that with, and I'm not sure yet which page is going to be. Okay, now we're going in with indigo blue, and we're just going to put this in the shadows. Yeah, so I still have to find a suitable page for that. I will get to it eventually. Yeah, so the hair, as I said, will be up on the channel at the beginning of next week. I had fun doing that. That was fun. And I hope that you find it helpful. Yeah, what else did I do this week? Yeah, it's a quiet time right now in terms of, goings on and weekly updates because, we're stuck in our houses right now. We can't go anywhere or do anything, and we have to be careful. So Toby and I, Toby has to go outside for his walks. So we do that. He's very good. I usually take him out after there's been a siren, with the hope that there won't be another one for a few minutes so that we can go and, he can do all of his business. And he's very good. So in the beginning, as you know, Toby's 17 years old, and he's gotten a bit, I can't say he's gotten older, but he seems to have in the last few months gotten older. He doesn't have as much pep as he used to. So the last war, we took him, in the beginning of this one, we took him into the shelter with us. And you know, he can sense, animals can sense that people are stressed and anxious, and it was difficult for him. He became a little bit agitated and wanted to go home, which we all wanted to go home. And so, yeah, it was difficult for him. So towards the end of that, if he was sleeping, then I left him at home. Because it was very traumatic for him, the whole, and I didn't want to put him through that. So if he was sleeping, I left him. If he was awake, I brought him with. Okay, and now as I said, he's got a little bit older, and he's a bit more quiet. So we bring him with. And one of my other neighbors, they have a new puppy. This puppy is so cute. I don't know what kind of dog it is. It is going to be huge. That's all I can tell you. And she's adorable. Whenever she sees people, she rolls over on her tummy. She rolls over on her back so that we can rub her tummy. She's so cute. And she thinks it's all a game. Oh, there are all these people. All these people are going to lavish love on me. But I think she's really helping the kids, because they come and they pet her, and it's helpful for them. And she gets so excited. The little tail wags. Yeah, so every once in a while they have to rush out with her because she's a puppy and she needs to pee. Anyway, yeah. So as I said, you know, we're in there. We look out for each other. We try to keep each other's spirits up, and it helps that, you know, everybody knows everybody. This is it's a very big neighborhood, but you know, I've lived here most of my life since I was a little kid, and so I know all of my neighbors really well, and some of them are people I went to high school with, and so we know each other, and and so we just, you know, try to be good to each other. That's all we can do, really. None of this is our choice. So we just have to make the best of the terrible situation. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, that's nice. Okay, now we're going to just put in our deepest shadows. Yeah, blue was a good choice. It works well with these purples and greens and the, yeah. Okay, so. Just put in these deeper shades here in the shadow areas. And then I think I might blend with, am I going to blend with white or cream? If you blend with cream, you will get a greenish tint. If you blend with white, maybe what I will do is blend with white and then put some purple or pink in it. Just, you know, an accent color. Maybe I will do that. Okay, yeah, let's actually, no, I am going to blend with the cloud blue. Oh, yes, that was a good choice. And also on the tops here. I love this page. I mean, I loved it uncolored. I also colored it once before. I followed a tutorial by Coloring with Alena. The first time I colored it, it was really early in my coloring journey. When I was afraid to color in coloring books, I used to, scan and photo and print them out on cardstock and color them that way, following tutorials, so that I could learn. And then once I realized that I was getting better, I stopped doing that, and I only colored in the books themselves. I'm just making sure I haven't lost my shadows with that blending. So as I said, I've colored this once before, and I loved the way it came out. And now I'm coloring it completely different, and I like it all over again. It's a beautiful page. I am going to take this dark indigo, and before I do that, I'm going to take this cerulean blue first, okay? And I'm going to put it in this area. I think underneath here are other seagrass, just like the bottoms of the seagrass. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to take the indigo and just deepen up the shadows underneath these, the seagrass. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so, let's also put this indigo in these and around here. Just to, by doing this, you give the sense that it's round. Okay. Right, and I think that's it for that. Oh, I like it. Oh, did we say we wanted to put pink? I'm going to leave it for now. I might later on come towards the end when we are doing, embellishments with acrylic markers. I might come in and put some pink there. But for now, I really like this blue that we've gotten. Let me zoom out so we can see the entire effect. Right, so this is what the page is looking like now, and we are making really nice and steady progress with it. I'm pleased with the way that it is coming out. Thank you everyone for joining me and for listening to my ramblings. It always helps to get these things out. I wish you all a very quiet, relaxing weekend, and I hope to see you again next week. Bye for now.